It's officially up and running.
How exciting. Hello, everybody who probably isn't here yet. We are doing a Dungeons and Dragons campaign based off of the magical world of the Kate Daniels novels written by Ilona Andrews. They're a phenomenal read, but I find the world super fascinating and I just couldn't get my head out of it. So I am making my friends play Dungeons and Dragons in there. I'm going to do quick character introductions because we're going to all be referring to each other by character names from this point forward because I'm just going to go all in like that. Our first member of the campaign is Dr. Harper Lee Curtis. She is an experienced doctor, about 5'9". She is gaunt and pale. She has dark hair and streaks of gray and hazel eyes. She looks to be in her 30s. Our next character is Quester Drake Hawthorne. He is 6'4", and he has a muscular build, brown eyes and short black hair, a clean-shaven face. He is a quester of the Order of, let's see, the long name that I can never remember. He is from the Order of Merciful Aid. Our next member is named Jameson. He is about 6'2", of athletic build, fairly pale and rough looking. He is the opposite of Quester Drake Hawthorne in that he always has a 5 o'clock shadow. His eyes are dark blue, almost black. Our final member is Crawford Ang. He looks to be emancipated, very skinny, has black hair and dark green eyes. He is 5'9". So, we are going to begin our adventure on the streets of Atlanta City. Atlanta is completely destroyed at this point. It is still a functioning city where people live and thrive, but it has a very different air to the Atlanta that we know today. The world has been attacked practically by magic. Atlanta used to be a modern city full of technology and advancements, and as technology became a strong power in the world, it seemed to tip the pendulum. The theory is that long in the past, magic was strong in the world and it was driven too far and advanced too far, and this caused a metaphorical pendulum swing from the side of magic to the side of technology. And as technology was advanced and these huge cities thrived and grew, the pendulum tipped in the other direction and started to fall again. Atlanta and the rest of the world is currently driven into chaos as on a daily or every few day basis, magic fades and technology reasserts itself, or technology fades and magic reasserts itself. They seem to be struggling for power to determine which aspect of reality will reign supreme. As a result, the city has suffered greatly, as many of the cities in the world have. Because our large skyscrapers were built through heavy technology means, they are largely broken down and destroyed by the magic. As the waves came in, it would eat it away. There are large buildings still now, but they have to be built by more traditional means, which makes it very difficult. Often phone lines don't work while magic is active, as well as cars and gun. So there are various aspects to the world that we know now that have faded and disappeared as magic rises, and then when magic falls out and technology reasserts itself, now mages can't use their magic, magical items don't have any effect, and technology is strong instead. So cars work, phones are up, electricity is active. When the magic reasserts itself, there are means of lighting streets called fey lanterns, which feed off of magic in the air. Along with magic being in the world, there have also been magical creatures that have risen into power. These are shapeshifters, which can change between an animal, half animal, half human form, and human form at will. We also have fairies, which are magic folk. And we have vampires, but these aren't the vampires that you know. The vampires are mindless killing machines, essentially. They only lust after blood, and they have no conscious stream of thought. They are actually piloted by humans who utilize magic and tell the vampires where to go, and can even, if they have a high enough level of control, speak through the vampires and communicate. The organization which runs the vampires is called The People. And that is where we find ourselves today. All of our members are heading for various reasons to Casino. Casino was created by the people to represent their power and their control. And Casino was a lofty decision that was made to construct by the leader of the people. He wanted something to represent grandeur, and everyone thought that it would be destroyed by the magic when it came in. But no one's really quite sure if it has to do with his drawing influence from holy and religious symbols from the Taj Mahal, or if it has to do with more conventional means of building. But Casino still thrives in all of its grandiose appearance, despite the magic waves coming and going. So we are going to start with, let's start with Jameson. Jameson arrives at Casino. It is currently a time of magic. It is daytime. I can hear feedback on your mic, Jameson.
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. It's currently a time of magic. So there's no technology active, and it is daytime. I would say it's probably about, let's say, 11 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock, middle of the day, but still, despite the bright lights, you see the golden and white stonework of the building shining. There's a huge fountain in front and statues of Indian gods either on the building or around the building in the park.
Okay.
So, what would you like to do, sir?
Before I do anything, do I know of any other people coming to investigate around the casino, or am I just on my own for this one?
You are currently on your own.
Alright, then I'm gonna go to head inside.
Alright. As you're approaching the building, others are also approaching, so before you head inside, I'm gonna let anybody else who's approaching the building do things. I'm gonna also turn to Quester Drake Hawthorne. Sir, you are aware, based upon your previous training, that this individual named Jameson definitely carries himself and appears to have a lot of potential power. Now, usually people who are drawn to Casino have money, but they usually don't possess the physical or magical power that you sense on Jameson. Would you like to do anything, or are you just going to mind your own business?
Sorry, my mic was muted. Do I recognize him being...
No.
I don't know. I don't recognize him at all? Okay.
No, he doesn't look familiar to you. You just sense that there's something special or different about him.
Almighty and powerful.
I will acknowledge it, but I will just ignore it for now and walk in.
Okay.
Eye on him.
So, as Quester Drake Hawthorne enters the building, he is forced by the guards to introduce himself. He shows them his order ID representing him as a Knight Quester of the Order of Merciful Aid. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the guards.
I am Drake Hawthorne, Quester of the Order.
Okay. Jameson, you're also walking through the doors at the same time. Any reaction or action, or just continue on your way?
I'm gonna take note of it, keep an eye on him, and just continue moving in.
Okay. So the two of you make it in. Dr. Harper Lee Curtis, it is 11 o'clock. You are outside of Casino. Do you choose to enter?
Yes, I do.
Alrighty. And Crawford Eng, you are disheveled, malnourished, altogether unimpressive. Are you going to attempt to enter casino? Marco.
Hello?
Andy.
Oh, you're talking. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I want to. Well, first off, I want to look around my surroundings and see if there's anyone that looks out of place. Someone that isn't like the average casino goer. Someone who is like, for a different purpose.
Probably everyone that just walked in.
So I noticed them.
Yep, Quester Drake Hawthorne walked in ahead of you. You saw him hold out an ID to be inspected by the guard. Jameson looks vaguely disheveled, but not poorly off, and he just sort of like glares his way in. Dr. Harper Lee Curtis enters with a very like head held high kind of nature, but you see like a shiftiness to her, and everyone like one of the guards kind of looks at her and vaguely considers stopping her, but just decides not to.
All right. Well, I want to also see if there is like a group of people that I can sneak in with, or some kind of a little more out of the way, so I don't have to be stopped by the guards.
Go ahead and roll a d20. And add... I don't know.
All right.
Let's add your constitution to it.
Constitution.
I'll say there is an actual stealth and deception if you want to add those.
Yeah, I think I prefer constitution because he has to not only convince people that he belongs with them, but he has to convince the guards that he belongs with them too.
So it's the d20 plus the modifier?
Yes.
All right. Then it is a 21.
All right. You're like Assassin's Creeding it. You're some dude who's walking around with like a bunch of whores or something around him, and they're giggling and laughing, and it's fine. And no one notices you. No one knows why nobody notices you. But nobody notices you.
I'll take it.
Damn magic users.
Okay. Alright. So, all of you enter into the beautiful and renowned casino. The inside is much like the outside. It is just gold and extravagance everywhere. People of high class and high quality are gambling and chatting and drinking, and despite the technology being out, the whole place has a light blue glow to it, lit by fey lanterns that are all over the beautiful sculpture in the ceilings. Upon entering, Quester Drake Hawthorne is approached by a very business-like, professional-looking man. He emanates power. All of you are aware of the power that he seems to emanate from his body. And he approaches the Quester and greets him. It is a pleasure to see you visit us this day, Quester Hawthorne. I was informed at once of your arrival. May I ask what your business is here?
What do I want to say? That's a good question. What is my business here?
I told you.
I know, I need to look at it again.
While Drake is speaking quietly to this man, would anybody else like to act or do anything?
I would like to be within eavesdropping distance.
Alright, roll and adds. Is perception probably the best fit?
Probably.
It's been so long since I've done that.
If I want to get not caught doing it, I might need stealth also, but I don't know. Personal choice.
Roll, let's just do perception. The place, I feel, is like full enough that you would be able to like sense that something, like you would be able to blend in a little bit better.
I have bad news for you. My first roll of the game is a natural 20.
That's good though.
I was gonna say like maybe he has to beat my passive perception, but yeah, he did it. He's good.
For passive perception, it would be if I was trying to not get caught by you, and you're not really paying attention to me. It's just you're aware of your surroundings.
And I don't know that he cares that you catch him. So, all right, Jameson is listening in. Does Quester Drake Hawthorne know his answer yet?
Yeah,
You probably
I
have
know.
papers. You have paperwork probably to show him too.
Okay, I show him the paperwork and I ask to see his operations, and I kind of like hint at what those operations might be.
The man who is a journeyman class at this building introduces himself to you a little bit more formally. I apologize for my previous introduction. I was a little bit hasty. My name is Bernard. I am a journeyman to Rowena. And I'm not sure where these inquisitions are coming from, but please wait here. I am going to fetch Rowena now, and I will be right back. So he leaves. You're left waiting in the hall. Anybody else wish to do anything?
Can I maneuver myself specifically out of sight of every other character? Or am I still...
Roll
still
and add
hidden?
stealth.
Okay, roll and stealth.
Because now your intent is different.
Alright, it's 13 plus 1. So 14. Yeah.
Okay.
That's below my passive perception.
All right. Liza, is that below your passive perception?
No, it is not.
Okay. Dr. Harper Lee Curtis is wistfully unaware of her surroundings. But you think you're being sneaky, but you sense that perhaps the two other gentlemen in the area are aware of your presence. So you're like, just trying. You're just trying. Dr. Harper, would you like to do anything?
To roll a perception check and see if there's anyone in the area who would be of interest to me.
All right, go ahead.
One.
Did you roll a natural 1?
5. Thank you.
What'd you say?
It's a 5.
Oh, it's a 5. Okay, sorry. You're cutting in and out a little bit. All right. So you are kind of just like standing there, like staring at people, and just instead of being trying to decipher who is of importance and who isn't, you are instead struck by how nice everybody's clothes is, and like all of these people are clearly like super wealthy. Like, isn't that something? And as all of this is happening, a very prim and beautiful woman, tastefully dressed in a business-like skirt and top. She has long cascading hair and very generous proportions. Walks onto the field, and everybody is a little bit more aware of her. She also seems to emanate a kind of power and demand of respect. She approaches Drake and holds out a delicate hand and says, "Quester Hawthorne, it is a pleasure to meet you."
I suppose I grab her hand and shake it, and then I say the pleasure is all mine.
Of course it is. This is Rowena we're talking about. She leans a little bit closer and says, "So I hear you've been receiving some very disturbing reports. Perhaps we could speak about this in a more private location."
I say let's shall and then follow her.
All right. She leads you down the casino way and past all of the tables to an inconspicuous door against the wall. If anybody would like to do anything, this is your chance.
I would like to attempt to stealthily follow them. I don't know how it's going to work out, but I'm going to try.
All right.
Just like casual, not, Mission Impossible, dun dun dun. Just casual,
You'll be Crunk from Emperor's New Brew.
Exactly. My own theme music and everything.
Roll me one more 20. Add your stealth to it. You heard the entire conversation, by the way.
That's good. Maths 22.
Okay. You're like somehow managing to seem like that swaggering guy at the casino who's like walking across the tables and just checking things out and just like following them without anybody being aware of it. Crawford or Harper, would either of you like to do anything?
I would specifically like to trail right behind Jameson.
Okay. And yours was a 21, right?
I haven't rolled yet.
No, you already had. We're using the same roll as previous.
Okay. Yeah, mine was a 21.
All right. Harper?
Wait, no, that was my first one. My second one was a 14.
Okay, 14. All right.
Yeah.
Harper? Anything, my dear?
Like to someone standing by the bar and attempt to pick their pocket.
Just like for shits and giggles. All right, roll that for me. Is it like which guy at the bar? Describe him for me.
Dressed people.
Hum?
One of the very nicely dressed people. That was all I got in my perception check.
Okay, gotcha. So you're just like some dude at the bar, and you're like, this one looks rich. All right, what'd you roll?
It's a 16. Do I add my stealth to that or sleight of hand?
Sleight of hand.
21.
All right, he has been unwittingly pickpocketed. You now hold in your possession. God, and we're in a casino too. 10 gold.
He wasn't doing well, okay? He lost it all at the crap table.
Oh no, that's like, I thought that was a decent amount.
That's a decent amount.
I know. I'm just being a shit.
I'm also trying to like not make you guys rich right off the bat. Because now someone doesn't have to pay rent for a while. So Harper is picking pockets. Quester Drake is being led to a stealthy door. Jameson is somehow sneaking into the hallway behind him. Crawford also attempts to sneak in behind him, but the door just manages to close.
Jargon I don't understand.
And there's a guard standing slightly by the door, and he sort of seems to like notice you for a second. He doesn't think anything's amiss, but he kind of gives you this like, you're not supposed to be by this door kind of
Right.
look.
I'll just like try to blend back into the crowds.
Okay, sounds good. You are blended. So we're going to follow Rowena and Quester, Drake Hawthorne, and Jameson. I like the 3 and 4 name, like long names, and Jameson. Beautiful. So you guys walk into a very plain hallway. It is the exact opposite. It is so plain, I had the hardest time finding a picture for a plain hallway. It is the exact opposite of what the entire casino was. Everything is still nice and clean and like very pristine, but it's not quite so grandiose. From here, Rowena turns to you and speaks to you directly in the hallway. You are vaguely aware of... actually, both of you roll perception super quick.
Perception. Also, we have an audience. We have Soar and Zero.
Hi, Soar! And hello, Zero.
That was a
I don't know
plain
who Zero
hallway.
is. But yes, that's the plainest hallway I could find.
Yes. Rolled 20.
Natural 20 for perception, and Jameson?
19 plus 1. So.
Okay, 19 plus 1.
I
Jameson,
have
what?
21.
Okay. So both of you are acutely aware of a vampire that is crawling along the ceiling in the hallway, and it stops for a second in a corner and peers at all 3 of you. It is incredibly skinny and bony. It is not a brand new vampire. So as the decomposition stages begin in a vampire, all of the fat melts away from the body, and all they are is muscle and sinew stretched tightly over metal. over not metal, over muscle. Their heads seem to be almost disproportionately large because their rib cages and everything's so skinny. They do have pointed teeth. Dependent upon the age determines how many pointed teeth. This one has a full single set, so you can probably estimate that it is at least a 10-year-old vampire. Its joints sort of seem to bend and move at odd angles because of the decomposition process and the changing and evolving of bones as a vampire continues to evolve. Its eyes are red and bloodthirsty, but not completely aware. And through these eyes, you know, peers a journeyman who is piloting the vampire for security reason. And it is peeking in on the conversation. Rowena looks up at the vampire and gives it a little wave, and then continues to address Quester Drake Hawthorne, completely unaware of Jameson in the room.
Sounds delicious.
She is looking over the paperwork that Drake provided to her, and glances at all of it with a very keen eye, and she says softly, "These reports are disturbing. Definitely. But I could not say that this has anything to do with us. As you know, the people have a very strict procedure when it comes to introducing the vampire virus to humans, and I can provide you with all of the paperwork for every single vampire that we currently have in our stable. The descriptions of these unauthorized vampires do not match the description of any that are in our stable."
Okay.
Eloquent.
Huh? I'm not done.
Okay.
I'd say if it is possible, could you send a copy of all of the records for every registered vampire to our offices?
I certainly can. Would you like to browse over our stable at all yourself?
Do you have a procedure being done at all today?
We do not. It's been rather slow as of late. We haven't had much adventure, so we haven't had much need for replacement by vampires.
Okay, I'll review your stable today then.
Very well. Please follow me, sir. As she walks by, the vampire scuttles down the wall and lands with a soft thud next to her, and its mouth opens slightly, its eyebrows raise at an odd angle, trying to replicate the expression on the journeyman's face, as it says, "You have another guest." And it points towards Jameson. This is the first time in which Quester Drake Hawthorne and Rowena are made aware of Jameson's presence. Jameson, you can react first, I promise.
I see how it is.
I mean, I didn't know if you wanted to do anything to, like, save your hide.
Let's see. I'm down a hallway. I'm not supposed to be down as far as I can tell.
Yep.
You know, I'm gonna go for a confused casino patron with some deception to start with.
Alright. Roll it.
Mathematicus. 22.
Alright.
I like
Go
this
ahead
die.
and
This is a good
bumble
die.
about. Proceed to bumble.
Hello. I was looking for restroom. Where is a restroom?
The vampire and Rowena exchange glances. Then she puts on her perfectly beautiful, charming smile that just seems to make both of you just a little bit happier. And she approaches Jameson and says, "Oh, sir, you must have accidentally walked down the wrong hallway. Please come this way." And she walks you briskly to the door that leads you to the floor of casino, and a bodyguard who's standing outside the door sees you and kind of like roughly pulls you out of the hallway and closes the door for Rowena.
That works.
And Rowena and Quester Drake Hawthorne proceed to the vampire stable, which is basically exactly how you'd imagine it would be. It is a room lined with cages, stacked high and wide, with a very actually wide walk space to provide plenty of space. All of the vampires that are in the stable are unpiloted, so their red eyes glow bright with thirst. They are reaching and hissing and clawing and screaming and trying to reach you and snap at you as Rowena walks completely unperturbed and unaffected by this down the hallway, and says to him, if any of these seem to match the descriptions that you're looking for, please feel free to stop. There are our newer vampires further down the line. As you know, they can be a little more unruly and difficult to control.
Am I able to roll a perception check to see if I notice if any of the new ones match descriptions of reports?
Go for it.
Okay, I'll do that then. 15 total.
15. None of them seem to match the descriptions that you received in your report. All of the vampires, of course, are a little difficult to match because they have no body hair. They have no eye color because all of their eyes are red. And the only discernible features are heights, widths, and skin color. And probably not age either. But because of the thorough screening process, many vampires frequently look to be about the same height because it makes for piloting them quite a bit easier. They're none of them are outlandishly tall or short. So none of them seem to match the descriptions of the people who are believed to have been unlawfully changed. But you do know that this is not a guarantee.
Okay. Yeah. I guess I'll just continue following her down the hallway, I suppose.
Okay. While they continue down the hallway inspecting vampires and chit-chatting, and Rowena continues to be perfectly businesslike and likable and beautiful in every way, we are going to return. Sorry. I love her. We are going to return to the casino interior, possibly if the little flag thing will do what I want it to do. We will return to the casino interior, where Dr. Harper Lee Curtis is counting her change, and Crawford Eng is blending in skillfully, sitting on a bench conspicuously and walking around with a bunch of laughing little girls and like that. Would you guys like to do anything else? All three of you on the ground floor?
I would like to scan the area, the people sitting at the tables, and look for any loose items, any sacks or bags that might be lying around.
There's nothing. Everyone's a little bit no one's got a tight hand on their stuff because they feel like they're all surrounded with the wealthy crowd. So they, aren't keeping a super close eye on their coin purses and on their change while they're throwing it at the gambling tables, basically.
All right.
But at the same time, nothing really stands out as being neglected.
All right. I think I'll not push my luck then.
Okay. Harper?
I would like to go after a higher risk target.
What are you, a klepto or something?
On the game floor within full sight of a guard.
Just for funsies? Okay. Roll it. What have you got for me?
Natural 20.
Natural? Why do you do this to me? There is a very large woman who is carrying just the heaviest coin purse you have ever seen.
I want to do it badly.
You want to get caught, is what you're saying. Hello?
I would like to get caught.
Okay. So she is just carrying this super heavy coin purse. She has a little lappy dog on a long diamond encrusted leash. And two bodyguards are escorting her out of the building as she says very noisily in a haughty manner, "Well, I just don't know why they all insist upon," and as she is speaking, what are you going to do, Dr. Harper Lee Curtis?
I am going to dog's leash and pick it up.
As she is speaking, a crazed 50-plus-year-old woman with grayed hair and a doctor's coat, well, no, in a fancy schmancy dark coat, swoops in and yanks the little poof poof dog on diamond encrusted leash just directly in front of everybody and books it. And the woman screams and cries out in shock, and the guards are all, "Hey, you there, stop!" Would anybody like to do anything as Dr. Harper Lee Curtis tries to make away with the diamond-encrusted leash with dog attached?
I would like to attempt to rescue the dog.
Okay, how are you going to do that?
How about... Can I use my cantrip Mage Hand to try to trip her?
You can.
Grab her leg?
Alright. So roll a d20 for me really quick. Add, and then Liza also roll and add dexterity to it.
I'm just observing all of this because it's quite hilarious for one.
Okay, what do I add to it?
Add nothing, just roll it.
Oh, shoot. Alright, I got a 5.
Alright, Liza, what did you roll? See, I can't always hear you. I see the little green thing light up, and I can't hear what you say.
Her audio sensitivity might not be high enough.
Okay. We might have to mess with that, but lean closer, Dr. Harper, and speak more loudly.
Hear me a little better now?
Yes.
Okay.
What did you roll?
On this headset, but not my headphones. That's weird.
What have you got? What's my number?
Dex is 17.
17? Okay. A sort of wispy, half-visible mage hand reaches out as Crawford also reaches out with emotion, propelling it forward as it tries to grab on to Dr. Harper and trip her. It just barely misses and instead grabs the puppy. Would you like to reel her on in?
Yes, I want to grab that pups.
Alright, the puppy with leash attached is being pulled by a mysterious mage hand towards the malnourished hobo Crawford Ang. Would the crazed doctor like to react in any way?
I attempt to wrestle the puppy away from the mage hand.
Oh, no.
So, I would like to paint this again. Malnourished hobo with mage hand pulls pom-pom puppy dog with diamond encrusted leash across the casino floor while distinguished crazy looking Dr. Harper Lee Curtis is also dragged along the floor trying to pry the hand open.
Magic is in effect right now, right?
You can what?
Magic is in effect right now, right?
It's still happening.
I'm currently using my talon claws for everything.
Yes. Yeah, magic is in effect.
Where are the guards in this place?
Yeah, what is happening?
They're coming. I just want to see how this is going to play out.
Alright, so
where are the guards in this place?
Yeah,
they're coming.
How's the struggle? Is she able to rip it out of my mage hand?
No, because she's not strong enough and she's not dexterous enough.
Right.
So you're just reeling her in. 3 guards converge upon the lot of you with, let's see, One is holding. Oh, you guys are just such a pain already. We're already doing this. One is holding a, like, probably a sword. I don't see the casino going unarmed. We've got one man with a sword, one man without any weapons, and one man with a crossbow leveled at the lot of you. The man with the crossbow is clearly the man in charge, and he says, "Both of you, drop the dog, now." And the rich, overweight woman behind is squealing about Mr. Fluffles.
Mr. Fluffles.
I've named him Mr. Fluffles.
I will let go.
Fluffles.
I will let go of the dog with my mage hand.
Okay.
And I will try to. Can I try to explain I'll try to explain to the guards that I was attempting to rescue the poor pup.
Okay.
Out of the kindness of my heart.
Dr. Harper?
Do I still have a hold of the dog? I haven't dropped it yet.
You haven't chosen to drop it yet.
To lightly toss the dog at one of the guards and say, "What took you so long?"
The guard, who is unarmed, catches the puppy with a surprised expression on his face. And the other two just, like, glare at the lot of you and say, "I think it's time for you to leave."
I want to walk up to that guard, the main guard holding the crossbow, and explain that I had a hand in saving the puppy, and that I deserve a reward.
He pokes the business end of the crossbow into your chest and says, "This is all the reward you're going to get. Be happy that it's not worse. Get out of the casino, you bum."
I give a super sharp eyeballs over to Harper.
Super sharp eyeballs?
A very angry face. A very perturbed face.
Dr. Harper, you feel severely unnerved by this sharp eyeball. But you are unharmed.
Okay. Unnerved. Okay, I would like to say to the guards, are you guys stupid? I came into your casino to cheat and steal. I need to go to an interrogation chamber.
The one with the sword says, "We don't interrogate. This is your only warning. Don't come back."
Be spoken to by someone in charge.
You're a crazy grandma, aren't you?
Yes. As this is all transpiring, I want to triple check that Questor Drake Hawthorne is done. He has inspected all of the vampires. None of them match the previous descriptions that he is cross-referencing. He has been able to look through the paperwork, and Rowena has promised that that paperwork will also be sent to the Order's office for him to peruse in his own time. Is Questor Drake Hawthorne done?
I just ask her if she knows of anybody who might be capable of doing the vampire procedure on people other than her.
She looks a little surprised at the suggestion and says, "I think I would be more inclined to believe that the requests are probably inaccurate, because anybody who demonstrates those abilities are immediately recruited by the people. We would be very interested if you were to find a Master of the Dead who weren't part of our organization, considering the thorough training and the, as you know, very confidential information which we utilize to create the undead."
Okay, do you have anybody within the people that has had a falling out recently? Or anybody that has gone missing?
You can sense that she's sort of like bristling at the question, but she still maintains her business-like manner as she says, "We generally don't suffer from falling outs because of our thorough vetting process, which is very similar to your own, where we go through extensive training and we are aware of an individual's character before we allow them to experience such secrets we have none in the Atlanta order of in the Atlanta section of the people who have had a falling out as of late.
Was that like charismatic enough that if I try to roll an investigation check, will it even do anything?
No, because Rowena is just made of charisma. She just
got it. Won't even try it.
Like, her modifier is probably like 18 or something stupid.
I'll take her for her word.
Any of the others, perhaps, but Rowena's the PR lady.
Got it. Then I asked to be escorted back to the casino.
All right. You are now in the main casino floor where Crawford Ang is being poked at with a crossbow. Dr. Harper Lee Curtis is demanding to see someone in charge because she's obviously a thief. Jameson is skulking off to the side and watching. And Rowena's face contorts into one of concern and upset and just like altogether unhappiness. And it's like an avatar when Judy, her like perfectly happy face just slowly falls to disarray.
Can I just say that I will willingly leave the casino.
Okay. You are leaving casino. Rowena approaches the disarray and addresses Dr. Harper Lee Curtis and says, "Hello, ma'am. My name is Rowena. I am a master of the dead, and I hear that you are requesting to speak with charge."
Smile as pleasantly as I am able to at her.
Okay.
Yes, I would like to have a discussion in private. 2 guards.
Very well. Please step this way. She leads you into the plain hall. Doesn't bring you more than a few steps into it. And as the two of you are standing there, there are also 2 vampires on the ceiling observing. Both of them, again, somewhere between probably 5 to 10 years in the vampire aging process. "What is your request or complaint?" she asks in a little bit of a brisk manner.
I'd like to...
Do you keep cutting out? I wonder if it's an internet thing. Dr. Harper, I want you to type. Because I can't hear you. We need to mess with your audio sometime.
Yeah, I think it might have...
She's typing, but
okay.
I don't know if it's her audio can't pick it up, or like if her mic's not picking it up, or if she's having internet. Dr. Harper Lee Curtis says, "I have services I'd like to offer your organization." Rowena just looks completely affronted by this and completely off put, and she says, "If you have services that you'd like to offer, then I would suggest you go through the appropriate channels as opposed to causing a ruckus on our ground floor and making this huge scene. You have demonstrated a very unprofessional presentation, and as a result, I do not believe that you have any services that would meet any of our desires or needs." Just typing. Direct approach. I wanted to demonstrate a more direct approach. You have demonstrated that you lack the professionalism and are unable to demonstrate any of the features which we desire to uphold and present from the people. We are a business, we are an organization, and we do not approve of thugs and brutes causing a scene in our place of business. She was typing. But I don't see anything new. Dr. Harper, are you thinking? Oh, there we go. We're gonna have to figure this out for next time.
Yeah, we'll have to fix her audio. I feel like
This is...
I said I feel like it's the sensitivity's too low because she was starting her sentences like 3 words in.
Yeah.
And then it started cutting out at one point, so it could be an internet issue.
Could be.
Yeah, that's the last part. I thought it was probably an internet thing. But, all right. Dr. Harper Lee Curtis, I am able to conduct an investigation into any unauthorized vampires while disregarding all official channels. Tell me that wouldn't be useful to you. Rowena arches her eyebrows delicately and says, we prefer not to use unofficial channels. We have our own detectives and researchers and members of the Order who are assisting us with the current problem. I would advise that if you would like to continue to research this avenue, it would perhaps be wise to speak with Quester Drake Hawthorne, who is the Order member who is currently on the case. She presents you with a card, sort of leaning in a little confidentially, and she said, you might advise that we think you could be of assistance if you feel that that is the direct route, that is the correct route for you. And then she dismisses you. She opens the door. The guards lead you out of the area and back to the casino interior, where she calls after you and says, if you ever choose to return to casino again, I advise that you behave in a manner more appropriate to that of a professional. And then the door closes. So we are left with Crawford Ang, Dr. Harper Lee Curtis. Well, no, Crawford left. Crawford has been led out of casino. He is now out front.
Can I do an action real quick?
You can, but your mic got loud again.
Oh, okay. Hold on about. Is that sound good? Is that fine?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. I want to cast Charm Person on one of the guards at the front.
Okay.
And that requires a Wisdom saving throw.
Do it. And what is your objective?
I want to convince him that I was given a reward and that he has to go get it for me.
Okay.
All right. All right, I got a 6. Add to 6 with wisdom, I guess. Yes. So
Okay.
11. I got 11.
I got a natural 20. He's not convinced. He looks at you and says, I encountered the entire exchange. I think you should just leave now while you're ahead.
I sit at a bench in front of the casino and wait
All right.
for everyone else, for specifically Dr. Harper.
Okay. Crawford's waiting for Dr. Harper. Jameson, Dr. Harper, and Quester Jake Hawthorne are all in the hallway. I'm going to let Quester Drake Hawthorne decide if he wants to do anything, since he knows that Jameson heard at least part of their conversation. What would you like to do, Quester Drake?
I walk up to Jameson, and I ask what he is doing here, because I noticed him when I walked in. So...
Before I answer that, do...
Your mic is also really loud.
Well, that's because I usually have to turn it up for shenanigans.
Okay.
Give me a second.
I feel like it got louder, I should say.
See if that's
You
better.
can
Is that
Yeah,
better?
that's
right
better.
click on people and shoot and change their volume. Just FYI.
Oh, okay. Well, I'd rather have it all be right for like streaming purposes.
Question for DM. Do
Uh-huh.
the members of the Order have a way of signifying that they are members of the Order without being very public about it?
So an order ID also has a small square of silver on the ID, where if you press your thumb to it and say ID and it is coded to you, it will remain silver. If someone else attempts that behavior, it will turn black. So I would see a crazy person perhaps having just that silver square somewhere on his person to use it to identify himself.
Okay. And then what was your question, Quester?
I asked what your business here was, and that I noticed you when I walked in.
I'm going to discreetly present to him the silver identification square without really saying anything. I suppose it'd be sleight of hand to make sure no one around me sees it, other than him.
Okay, go ahead and roll it.
Mathematicas, 17.
Okay. No one's really paying much attention anyways. You take the little silver square out of your pocket, present it to him, press your thumb over it, and say ID. With a short pulse of magic, you see Quester Drake Hawthorne that it remains silver, but it definitely has the Order emblem on it.
I say I understand. I think we should go speak somewhere privately.
I will let him lead the way.
Alright, as you two are beginning to leave, Dr. Harper Lee Curtis walks back into the hallway. Dr. Harper, you are aware probably of who Quester Drake Hawthorne is? Actually, no, I don't know how you would know. You would be able to deduce, based off of the fact that Rowena was just talking to him, that that might be the guy. Are you going to hunt him down or do anything? Or are you just gonna, like, skulk about on your lonesome?
She typing again?
I don't see that she's typing. She might be messing with her stuff. Oh, no, she is typing. She might have been thinking. This is a hard game, after all. You have to make all the right choices, or your fickle and mean, bitter DM.
Will kill us all. Or, I mean,
Yeah, kind of. Just make you go, why did I do that? Why did I think that was a good idea? Tried to turn up her input sensitivity. It looks like it didn't work.
Might need to actually turn it down, technically. Make it less, or
She could-
more sensitive, but it would be down on the slider. It's weird.
yeah, it's a little
Yeah.
backwards.
Try turning it down on the slider.
Up, you need to turn it down.
That's nonsensical, silliness.
Or she could try doing just straight push to talk, and then hold the button down whenever she speaks.
That too.
It's a bit of a hassle, but, temporary solutions and all.
So Dr. Harper Lee Curtis walks up to Jameson and Quester Drake Hawthorne and waves the card in the air saying, "Any of you guys a Quester Drake Hawthorne?"
Brilliant.
What's this card? What's the
It's
card?
it's your like business card for when I happen to have it.
I just have a big old smirk on my face.
You have a southern drawl because that's what came out of my mouth, and your name is Harper Lee Curtis.
Yeah, it sounds pretty southern.
Quester Drake Hawthorne.
I turn to her and ask, and say, I am Drake Hawthorne.
Yeah, you are in Atlanta. Alright, Harper Lee Curtis. Quester Drake Hawthorne has confirmed to being the person you are looking for.
Confused how she pickpocketed it without knowing it was him.
Rowena handed it to him.
Oh.
Or wait, Rowena handed it to her. Because Rowena's sly. And the people are like, yeah, we always work with the Order, and the Order's like, you do. Rowena suggested I might assist you in your investigation.
I raise an eyebrow and look at her and say, "How so?"
She's typing. I'm a skilled medical researcher. I'm attempting to conduct a study into certain abnormal vampires I've observed. Which would definitely pique your interest, sir.
Yep.
So how do you respond?
Oh, she was still typing, so I didn't know if there's anything else.
Oh. I was hoping to be granted access to one of the people's vampires to determine a baseline. Huh.
I look at her and say, "I have in no way the authorization to do that. I can, however, ask Rowena if you can take a look."
Perhaps after she's gained the trust of the people by helping with the investigation. Alright, so the three of you are working together. Dr. Harper Lee Curtis is going to turn her sensitivity down because down is up in this topsy-turvy world. The three of you leave the casino floor and find yourselves outside, wherein a skinny hobo is by the name of Crawford Eng, who possesses Mage Hand, is sitting and waiting.
I want to walk up to Harper, jab a finger into her shoulder, and demand that I get some recompense for the troubles that she gave me.
I still cannot hear Dr. Harper Lee Curtis if she is speaking.
She is typing.
I see that.
You know, for being a hobo, he's awfully demanding.
He is. He's got some needs, man. And apparently they're all monetary. I absolutely will not pay you for interrupting my business.
I did save that dog from your madness.
Oh, this is going so well. Good thing you guys have to be a party.
Right?
That I was in the business of stealing.
And I would know, since you were in the business of getting caught, I would not be surprised if you have done other illegal actions in that casino. I wouldn't be surprised if you left with more than you came in with.
I really like this premise while Dr. Harper Lee Curtis is typing. I really like this premise of you obviously went in there to steal things and probably got out with things that you stole. So I, as the helpful person who helped people, demand that you give me money. Or I will tell them that you stole things.
So he's what, Booster Gold?
What have you got, Dr. Harper?
It's like blackmail.
She says, ... Anne.
Well, I have not much in the way of happenings right now. I can be a nuisance. You have seen that.
I will follow you and screw up all of your stealing attempts.
I will become a virus on your attempts of robbery.
Ask for a word from the fat lady, not me.
Well, I tried, and I got a bolt for it.
You got a threat of a bolt for it. You didn't get shot, necessarily.
Yeah, you got pokeyed.
It could have happened. You the guy had a crazy look in his eyes.
He was trouble.
I'm assuming while this is happening, Jameson and I are just sitting there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're just
you
chilling.
guys are
Like, what
watching.
the hell?
All right, I'm gonna.
All right, Dr. Harper Lee says, okay, so one of you care. So no one cares that you rescued that yappy dog. Is that what you're saying? It sounds like that's what you're saying. Crawford.
I'm saying I was robbed of my reward, and I look to Jameson and Drake. And if she is obstinate, maybe one of you are more willing.
Oh my god.
I walk up to them and stare at them.
I use intimidation on him to get him to stop being so needy.
Do you, like, say anything, or you just give him a hard, long stare?
I tell him that he should walk away.
Roll a 20. And add your intimidation to it.
22.
Alright, you are shaking in your boots.
I take a couple steps back, I guess.
Okay.
And, like, looking back and forth, I desperately land on Jameson and try to give him a hard look as well.
So you're trying to intimidate Jameson into giving you money because you saved a puppy dog?
I mean, yes,
Okay.
exactly.
I'll tell you what,
Alright.
go ahead and roll that.
Roll it.
Let's see what you get for intimidation on that.
All right.
This could be hilarious or tragic.
Oh, no. It's a 6.
Alright. He tries to stare daggers at you, but, like, his eyes are kind of like, he's blushing because he's so, like, frustrated. They're red, and, like, you can just sense, like, this guy is just, like, super annoyed.
I'm going to smile at him and actually return the intimidation just for shits and giggles.
Oh, God. Alright, what's it?
Unnatural 20. And then just for shits and giggles, I'm going to flip him a silver.
I greedily pick it up. And
Alright.
Just to get him to shut up, basically.
I give them, Jameson specifically, I give him a slight bow and walk off muttering curses.
No, you can't walk off. You have to party.
You don't
have to
get to
party
leave,
up.
sir.
You have to party up.
That was payment for today's work.
Oh, as I hear him say this, I turn back with a glint in my eye. I ask him, is there more of this, holding the coin up?
If you survive, there will be more.
I have friends that could help. And put the coin in my pocket, walk up, and, just stand there kind of awkwardly. Not sure what to say. Still embarrassed by what just happened.
Embarrassed. Now that you have the money, you're like, shit, man. This maybe wasn't a good idea.
Did I just buy a crazy person for a silver?
Yes! You super did.
That's awesome.
Dr. Harper Lee Curtis is strenuously objecting to this unwashed foundling's involvement.
What of you, this crazy old bat? How is she better than I? Is it merely just money?
She's very slightly cleaner than you are. I mean, honestly, none of you except for Quester Drake Hawthorne is actually clean. Jameson is wearing like worn clothes in a 5 o'clock shadow, and Dr. Harper Lee Curtis's hair that's like frizzled and crazy, and you're just clearly an unfed hobo. So
I can be helpful. I know the city. I know the real part of the city.
I go. Prove that you can be helpful. What do you know about vampires?
unregistered is the word you're looking for.
I'm just asking about vampires.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I live in the honeycomb. I have seen and heard bad dealings of every kind.
Quester, as someone who has received a lot of reports from the honeycomb, you are aware that only about like half of them are actual reports, and it's just a bunch of like crazy poor people talking shit.
I mean, 50% of them being actual reports is kind of a lot.
Oh, fine, 20%.
Still a lot.
Of them being actual reports? Yeah. I heard that there was a vampire in the honeycomb yesterday, and all the vampire people are like, no, there wasn't.
I'm sure there's like, I'm sure in a giant city there's probably like
Fine.
Reports all over.
There are awful, low, dramatically shitty levels of unreliability.
I think what you mean is there were lots of reports, but very few actual accounts.
Like, 9 times out of 10, they just don't even, you guys don't even respond. You don't show up. You're like, are you going to fill out the paperwork? And they're like, I mean, are you going to come take a look? And you're like, are you going to fill out the paperwork? And they're like, I mean, you could come take a look. And you're like, okay, tell me when you're going to fill out the paperwork. Bye!
Got it.
Okay, so I guess he looks unimpressed by that.
Yep. Very much unimpressed.
I am also somewhat familiar with the Sibley Forest.
Sibley Forest is the fairy forest. That's where all the fairies chill. It's wild.
Okay. So I ask him if he knows of any vampires in the Sibley Forest. Then
There,
No.
You never know.
Dr. Harper would like to know if she's interested in this.
Oh,
This
sorry.
She seems interested.
Dr. Harper perhaps says something. She's, like, listening intently to the conversation.
As you see, I know I have familiarity with at least 2 places. That's more than I'm sure maybe others. And I'm not under doing dirty work.
Obviously.
well, the Order doesn't do dirty work.
Everyone does dirty work.
We don't do dirty work. There's always an exception to the rule.
Even within your own order.
Sure, I guess.
Maybe I can be that exception. I've proven that I'm not violently crazy, at least. Is that good?
Quester Drake Hawthorne Jameson outranks you, so if he chooses to utilize Crawford's assistance, you would only be obligated to follow Jameson's lead in the matter, and you wouldn't be held accountable for the action.
Do I know Jameson's rank right now?
You can deduce his rank by his general appearance and erratic behaviors.
Got it.
The crazy look in my eye and the, not real ID that I carry with me.
I look to Jameson and ask him what he thinks.
I did already pay the man.
I guess I have no choice but to follow suit then.
All right,
So,
Jameson, with Jameson in the lead of our ragtag band, I think we're going to wrap up for the day so that Dr. Harper Lee Curtis and I can sort out her audio issues. And that way things will run a little bit more smoothly in the future. So with Jameson in the lead, the group descends the steps of Casino and begins their venture into the city to see what adventures await them on the horizon. Sorry about the technical issues in general. Stream. We are hoping to stream every other Sunday. So, do you guys want to do every Sunday or every other Sunday? I guess I should ask.
Probably start with every other for now.
All right. Yeah, we're going to start with every other Sunday, unless we see that availability provides that we can do every. But right now, we've got enough on our lives that we're doing every other Sunday. So we'll be back in 2 weeks on Sunday, probably about this time, I'm hoping, because I like mornings. I'm alone in that. But
yeah, you are.
But if we can do it in the morning, then we can play Overwatch at night. Yay! All right.
Some fair logic there.
I'll see you guys about. Jameson, let me know when you have hung up the call. Or not the call, the stream.
Yep. Everyone, thank you for watching. We hope to see you again in about 2 weeks. If not, I'll be streaming regular stuff soon. Bye.